And that is the big question. Why weren't those life rafts deployed in those first minutes when the ship started to tilt? The growing list of criminal charges raises a number of legal questions about the ferry sinking and the crew's immediate response to the unfolding disaster. And for more on this, I want to bring in Jack Hickey, a trial attorney who specializes in maritime accidents. He joins us from Miami. And John Kimball, also a maritime attorney. He is in New York. Jack, let's begin with you. We now have 7 crew members charged. Do you expect more arrests to happen?
Well, I don't know if more arrests will happen, but certainly the Koreans are making a statement that they are treating this very seriously. They had a disaster in 1970 which killed several hundred people as a result of a ferry that went under, and so they are treating this very seriously. And, you know, really it's a string of failures here, not just one failure, but one failure after another, starting with the captain not being at the helm in a navigationally sensitive situation, and then going on to the mixed signals to the passengers, and then of course the captain abandoning ship long before his passengers were in safety.
And John, I want to sort of hone in on that, the captain not being at the helm. Can you help give some clarification? Was that a violation of the law? Because there have been some mixed reports about that.
It's not a violation of the law to have a third officer at the helm, but when the ship started getting in trouble, the captain should have gotten to the bridge as quickly as possible and taken over and taken command at that moment. And that seems to have been a failure.
And Jack, so we've established the captain was not at the helm, but he's charged with causing the ship to sink by failing to slow down and for making a turn excessively, even though he wasn't at the helm. Can you explain that?
Well, you know, and I agree with John. I don't fault the captain for not being at the helm for the entire 13.5 hours it took to get from Incheon to Jeju Island. But the captain should be at the helm if there's any, when the ship is in a navigationally sensitive situation. We saw that with the Exxon Valdez when the ship is leaving or navigating through Prince William Sound. That's when the captain should be at the helm. And the captain was not at the helm here. It's not a violation of law for him not to be at the helm, but certainly should have been, number one, if the ship is in a navigationally sensitive situation, and number two, and I agree with John on this, that when there's an emergency situation, when there's a severe list and 10 degrees, one of your maritime experts said 10 degrees. 10 degrees is a huge list. You know, that's a leaning of the ship. So 10 degrees is like this, and that's when things go to the side and cargo gets thrown around and containers get thrown around within the vessel that is going to affect the stability of the vessel. So yes, the captain should have made his way right then and there, and then should have really taken charge and made the communications to the passengers very clear.
Yeah, regardless of whether or not he was at the helm, that ferry was his responsibility. John, South Korea's president spoke bitterly of the crew's failure, saying that they were akin to murder. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as a lawyer, I tend to be a little more cautious about saying such things. I think there's a lot to be learned from the timetable that we've seen so far. And clearly the captain was not performing his duties and did not take command when he should have done. He did not order an evacuation as soon as he should have done. But I think there's a lot still to be told about the events that led up to the capsizing. And I think we have to reserve a little bit of judgment just to see and give the captain a fair shake to understand exactly what was going on.
Yeah, as we said, it wasn't just a failure of one person. It was sort of a ripple effect, it seems, of issues. Jack Hickey, John Kimball, thank you. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Pamela.